Okay, I am recording.
I'll listen. I'm going to peruse your house.
Okay, you're fine. Okay, so something that happened today that I was just thinking about that I wasn't even going to bring up, but today I got a pedicure, and the lady that does my pedicures was like, we were talking about a photography business that's in this area and how like it's such a good business. Everybody goes there to get their pictures taken. And she said like a couple years ago, which I didn't know this, a couple years ago, they were going to close the doors on this place because it like wasn't, you probably know which place I'm talking about. Okay. And I didn't know that. I was like, that was surprising because like I just thought it was booming. Anyway, she said it takes, but now of course it's blowing up. Like they're successful and they built a new building and it's like awesome and everybody goes there. But she said it takes like 3 to 4. She said it takes 3 years to build a solid business. And she said, but now they say it takes 4 years. And so I thought that was kind of interesting. So then, of course, that made me think about Beachbody and how like many years it can take to really build a solid foundation and build a business with this, because so many coaches get so frustrated because they're not seeing results. It's discouraging. But if you think about building a business from the ground up, it's like any business that you build from the ground up is just going to take time. It's going to take a lot of energy and a lot of like doing it when you don't feel like it. So anyways, just something to think about, because like I was even listening to the video that I posted from Amy Silverman in our team page. I posted that like last week and it's so good. If you haven't watched it, it is like worth listening to. And you know, she's been a coach for like 6.5 years. So it's like, that's a long time, but not really if I can quit my job and I can do this and I can like work from home and have flexibility and all that. So think about that. I think with whatever business, you know, you want it to be like, and that's what we're going to talk about is your story, but you want it to be unique. So like the photographer, for example, like and I used this example last time, but like even with like a grocery store or even like the photography business, I feel like you're only one place. Like people are going to come there, but it's not like you can people might drive an hour, but there's like photography places all over. There's grocery stores all over. Like you have to be sort of like on top of it in order to get people to come to your like business. So what are you going to do differently? Like what are you going to bring to the table that is going to separate you from like the 400,000 coaches that there are? So your story is so powerful. So that's what we're going to talk about. So even like this week, for example, like with everything that happened with Jersey, and then my son decided to like roll his 4-wheeler on top of himself and pin himself underneath this stinking 4-wheeler. And I was worried about him. And so that's beside the point. But like one night I slept in Summer's bed because we were upset about the dog. And then the next night I slept in Jackson's bed because I was worried he was like gonna, I don't know, have a broken bone. So anyways, I didn't sleep very good, but I still like made time for the business, even though I didn't do all the things that I normally would do. And so I think that and we talk about time management all the time, but I think if you guys can, even on the hard weeks, if you can fit it into your week, because we make excuses and we all have like a million irons in the fire. But I think if you can make time for your business, even on the hard weeks, that will boost your confidence, because like, you know, like I enrolled a discount coach this week and like I was able to send some follow-ups. I was able to still send a few new messages and like keep up with sharing my story. So I, you know, shared about my dog and I shared about still my fitness because I was still being a product of the product. So I think that will give you guys confidence too, because if you can fit your business in even when like it gets really tough, and we know it's going to, like with things in your life, then you're going to have the confidence. You should have the confidence to build it and to work it when like life's normal and it's still hectic, but it's like your normal hectic life, if that makes sense. So I think it's just a matter of you got to keep going, because even though like stuff gets in your way and maybe you have a headache, but like if we have a headache, do we not go to work? You know, so you got to think about that. And it all comes back to your why and what you're doing with this and what you want to do. And like for me, like everybody knows what my why is, and that I'm going to work this because I'm going to stay home eventually with it. So my dreams don't stop just because like my week is rough. And I was using this example because Jackie Watson, she's one of Christina's diamonds, and she went through breast cancer a couple of years ago. And, you know, she had treatments, and she was saying like, I still hit Success Club. Like I had all these coaches on my team who have a million excuses. And like, I was going through all this and I still hit Success Club. And so, you know, and that doesn't mean that you have to hit Success Club, but even if you set like small, and I told you guys maybe to write down your goals, and I want you guys, just because it's almost halfway through the year, I think it's good to have your goals and figure out like, you know, where you are and what you want to do. And even if you don't want, even if you think Success Club 6 is like super hard, then think about Success Club 2. Like think about, even if it's a small goal, I think Success Club 2, I know that doesn't technically mean you hit Success Club, but like everybody here can hit Success Club 2. Like you can help one person in the month. You have 30 days, 31 days, depending on the month, to do that. And if you work really hard, I think you can hit it. And then we know it's duplicable and that you will end up like hitting more than 2 points probably. So I think that a lot of this is confidence, and we talk about this all the time because it like takes, like it's so hard. And I don't think, like I think we get in our own heads, and that's the reason why, I think that's the reason why we like don't have confidence sometimes, because we think, we just get in our own head, like, and we think that we're not a certain thing, or we're not doing this a certain way that we should be doing it because maybe whatever the case is. So I feel like your confidence is a direct result of like jumping out of your comfort zone and doing things that you like wouldn't normally do, and that you know we're going to build a business. Because once you do it, we know, like if we go live, like it's hard to go live, or like when you guys have done videos in our team page, it's like, it's kind of scary because you're thinking, oh my gosh, and like you redo the video, and then you redo the video, and then you redo it because you hate it, and you start it, and then you're like, oh. And I've done it too. Like I've done it, and now it's just like, I like the feeling of just going live, because it's like, it is what it is. Like I got one shot, and I'm just gonna talk, and if I screw it up, well, whatever. Like it's not the end of the world. Who cares? So, but that takes time. Like I can remember when I started this, and Jamie was running the calls. And I didn't have a team really yet. And, you know, I think I'll never be able to do a call at Jamie. Like I'll never be able to, you know, to whatever, put the information out there and share with my team, because like, I'm not like a really good, like, I know I've shared this, but like, I don't like to really speak in front of people, and like, I'm not very good at it, or I feel like I'm not. And it's just, but again, doing it, and now I can run calls all the time, and like, I don't stress about it. I mean, I like to make sure I have the information, but I don't stress about like, you know, once you do it, you get better at it. And that's with anything in this business or in life. And I think too, like the repetition then leads to skill, because some of it is a little bit of skill. Like you just learn to be better at it, and then you can implement other things, kind of like with your posts. Like I can remember thinking, well, what the heck am I going to post? Because I feel like I don't have anything to share about. But if you can take like, and stop overthinking it, because that's the biggest thing. It's like you overthink, like, okay, what can I do? And a lot of times I'll just take a selfie, and I have a direction where I want my post to go, because there's something on my mind or on my heart that I want to share. And so then I will just kind of start, like, and then you just start typing, and and it's funny because the other day I posted that picture of my steak fajitas, and I have done this a million times. So I think I'm in my challenge group on my phone, and I'm not. I'm on my personal page. So then I'm just like, blah, whatever, because I don't think a thing about it. Like whatever pops in my head is literally what is going to get in our challenge group. I just don't. I know that maybe I should put more thought into it, but I don't, because I'm just posting my accountability. So I posted it the other day, and I was like, y'all know this is my favorite meal ever, blah, blah, blah. And it was super short. And then I'm like looking, and I'm getting like likes from this, and I know these people aren't in my challenge group. And so I'm like, ugh. So anyways, it's just funny, but like, that's how it should be. Like we should be able to just go to our page, post, and like be you. And I love the video from that Amy Silverman today, because I finally listened to it today. I've been listening to it for like 3 days, because it's like 45-minute call. And she says, you know, be like Amy, be Cecilia, be Carlita. Like don't be, yeah, we're Beachbody, and I know like I blast Beachbody, but like I don't really blast Beachbody. Like I'm incorporating health and fitness into my life, but I'm not like talking about like the same. And I know that this is hard, because we think like the $160 challenge pack right now is like a steal, because we know what it was last month, and we know what it's worth, because all those programs are like such a good deal. But if you put that on there, if you put like $160 sale, blah, 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 they're like, people are thinking, for one, they're thinking, whoa, that is expensive, because they don't realize like how much it's really worth, because they don't even know really what you're doing. They don't really know what they even get for all that. And it's hard to put all that in a post. So my suggestion is like, I've gotten to the point where I'll almost recommend like to never, and I've done it all, but I almost recommend to never ever just even say sale, because nobody cares. I mean, they care. Maybe sometimes you'll be like, oh, you'll get someone that's like, what's the sale? Or like if I went live and I've talked about like the health vet, seems like I did that. And I was like, you know, they do have a sale on a few programs right now, if anyone's interested. And, you know, I had someone message me and was like, what's the sale? But for the most part, I feel like, and like they say, like facts tell and stories sell. So, use your story to in your brand, which your brand is just like who you are and what you like and all different things. Like you're a mom and you love makeup maybe, or you love like, I don't know, dogs, or you love whatever it is. Those are the things that are going to build your brand, basically who you are. And then you're just going to incorporate health and fitness, because there's so many people right now that are doing health and fitness. Like there's just so much out there right now. So you've got to set yourself like apart from everybody else that you're, and sometimes that's hard to do. And you don't want to overthink it. You just want to be you and share what, what even the hard posts, I think that, you go back to that maybe from the past or something that's hard to share, but people connect with that stuff because they just want to see you being real and you being like, vulnerable. Okay. And I think too, if you don't believe you're good at something, so like, again, like with the Zoom call, with the calls before, I was like, oh no, I'm not going to be very good at that because how am I going to think of all this stuff to say? And is it going to flow? And is it going to make sense? And whatever. You worry about that. So then it's hard to have confidence from the get-go if you don't believe that you can do this. And every one of us can do this because we all have a story to share. Like we all are unique and we have so much inside of us that we can share. And it's not really built overnight, because now like I feel so much differently about, like, I was passionate about Beachbody when I started, but now it's like, it's so much different. I feel like even more passionate about it, I guess, just because I've grown to, I've learned and I've grown and I've just experienced a lot of different things. So now I feel like my posts can sort of go like, as you grow as a coach, like you'll find that you're changing and that you're seeing like what works and what doesn't, and what you get a lot of traction on and what people like really like from you. And then you feel more confident about posting. Okay. So we'll talk about ways, to build confidence. So I think, I'm going to give you 4 ways to build confidence. So number 1, you have to be a raving fan. So Lindsay Gray always says you have to be a raving fan. So if we're a raving fan of Beachbody, we love the programs, we know what they can do, we love Shakeology. And if you're not a raving fan, if you're kind of like, I can go without Shakeology, like I can take it or leave it. The programs are okay, but like, I'm not like, and I'd rather go to the gym, or whatever. Like most of us are here because we are raving fans of it and we love the lifestyle. So you have to be a raving fan in order to be able to confidently speak to others and share to others about it. Because it's just like, and I always use this example, but like if I love this mascara, then it's so easy for me to tell someone like how good like my new lip sense is or my new mascara, because I don't have an emotional attachment to those products because they don't really like speak to me. I mean, yeah, I like them, but I'm not putting my name on this mascara that I'm telling Carlita that I love, because it's not a part of me. Whereas I think that's why sometimes we feel sort of not weird, but like sometimes we have trouble maybe talking about what we're doing because, again, you're putting your name on it, but you should be proud of what you're doing and you should be able to confidently tell about what it's done for you. You just shouldn't be afraid to share it if you really truly believe in it. Okay. And number 2 is have results with your fitness journey. I think that you've got to show that there's progress, whether it's, you take a before picture and you work hard for 3 weeks, and like Jessica Survey was saying, like I have 3 weeks until my vacation. I'm like, you should take a before picture and you should post one, after, and hopefully help you work really hard, because people want to see that there's progress. They want to see that. And plus that boosts your confidence. If I'm getting like results from my workout program, then I'm going to have the confidence, like it just boosts our confidence. And same thing with the business. I feel like when we're more focused on our fitness, like we're more apt to work the business more. Like I've known when I was off track there for like 3 months, I was still working the business, but it's hard for me to tell people and my customers and my challengers, like, okay, this is what I'm doing, because this is what I'm not doing this. So it's hard for me I don't feel as passionate about what I'm saying if I'm not actually doing what I'm telling them to do. So you got to have results with that. And whether it doesn't have to be like major results. It doesn't have to be like a huge transformation. Just showing that you're going from point A, to point B is great for people to see. And you got to show them kind of where you're going and the struggles and what you're doing to get there. And again, like I think that we're all more motivated. If we're motivated with our fitness, like I feel like you're just more motivated in general, and you're going to work your business more, and you're going to be more focused with your business and sharing. Okay, number 3 is doing the vital behaviors and the daily tasks that we always talk about. So, we always tell you guys, like, do the vital behaviors. And I think that just that in itself of doing inviting, personal development, being a product of the product, those are the 3 vital behaviors. And they added the 4th vital behavior, which is recognition, which posting should be a vital behavior, but basically that's inviting technically. So if you're doing those things and you're gonna, like, I promise you, if you're doing those things, you're gonna get people that are like, what is she doing? And like today, I shared that post in there from this girl that I don't even know, that message. I know of her, but we have like some mutual friends, and I think she lives in St. Elmo. And she, messaged me like, thank you so much. And it was like my video this morning that I was thinking, I wasn't even really sharing that much with my video. Like, I don't know, maybe I don't know. It wasn't very flattering. My video wasn't. So I thought, well, maybe she was thinking like I was, but she's like, thank you for being whatever. I shared it in our team page. You probably saw it, but that was really nice because it's good. Those things, if you're being consistent with your power hours and your daily vital behaviors, you're going to get people that are like, yes, they're excited for you. They're thanking you for being real and just being transparent. And that's helping them. So it's fun to get those types of messages. And I feel like each inch is really a mile in this business because, like, I could do one invite a day. I could do one invite today, and it could be like the golden invite. It could be the invite that gets me like someone that's like, yes, thank you so much. Like, I need this. I need, to make a change. Or I could do 20 invites, and then I feel super defeated because I'm just like, oh, I can't. 10 of them didn't respond, and 5 of them are just like, won't even hardly, they might message me back the first time, and then they won't message me back. And then the other 5 are just kind of whatever. But again, you have to remember that's like a huge chunk of invites and messages that you sent, and that's planting the seeds for like next month and the month after that. And then now they're going to see your post more. I always say that, but they're going to see your story more because now they're like, oh, maybe at first when you message them, they're like, they didn't really realize you were really doing anything. And then now they're going to watch you a little bit more. So I feel like and then those little small things that you're doing each day are going to like, make a big impact long-term, big progress. And again, you got to think long-term because again, if it takes 3 to 4 years to build a business, then it's just not going to happen overnight, even though I know it's so frustrating when you feel like you should be farther and you feel like you're putting in the work. But we also know that we love this lifestyle and we know what it does for us. So, in my opinion, even if I wasn't like had an income with this, I don't like now that it's in my life, I don't think I could ever like just completely stop doing it. But again, I think if you guys are doing the vital behaviors and a lot of times I know you guys have told me, you're like, I know it's me. Like I'm the one that's not doing it. And I know what to do. We've talked about it. We've beat things into the ground, with the calls, I feel like we repeat, but a lot of this is just so repetitive. Okay. So the power of your story, that's what we're going to talk about next. So the power of your story is like the most important thing you have. And it does set you apart again from like the other 400,000 coaches. And you can't like really, again, you need to think about your brand and you need to think about like, what is it that is part of you that you can share to the world and that you can be unique and different. Because we all have something, like we all have more than one thing that we can share. And I think you got to use like your story as a passion because you're like, that's who you are. So use that and that energy from your story to help others. So, so number one part of like kind of the power of your story is who are you? So this doesn't go by your rank. We don't care. Like it doesn't matter if, I'm a diamond coach, but nobody cares. Like that's not important. I love Beachbody, but that isn't who I am. So what is your brand? Who is it that you're really trying to attract? Is it moms? Is it, what is it? Is it stay-at-home moms? Is it, for me, it would be like both. Like I would be wanting to attract both moms because, all moms need help, but what is it that you can really like, who are you trying to attract? What do you stand for? Like, do you have someone on your Facebook that you're like, I love their posts and they seem so positive and they seem like they would offer a lot, or they really would like this business, or they would love, the positivity that our team, would pass on to them. They would really like it. So again, like that's not like, you're not Chalene Johnson or Autumn Calabrese. Like we don't want to share their pictures because half the people, unless you're in the Beachbody world, you don't even know who those people are. And we are only we love Beachbody, but it's because we love like the products, but that's not who we are. So where are you going with this? And Megan White, she spoke at, I think it was Coach Camp. And she always said, you know, if you're not telling people where you're going and the power of your story, then they're not going to jump on your train. So you've got to like, you know, why do you do this? And why do you make time for it? And what has it already done for you? And, you know, what do you plan to do with it in the future? I mean, whatever. And all these little things can be in posts, but, you know, they don't have to be long and they don't have to be hard and they don't have to be like complicated. It's just super simple. And then also I think just being your authentic self, and believing in the power and what you have been able to overcome and how that's going to help others. So we've all overcome something, like whether it was, you know, terrible eating habits or whatever, a major weight loss or whatever it is, like all those things we've overcome. Or, you know, a lot of coaches like have maybe even more serious, like drug addiction, or they have, you know, other things. I know that's probably not the case here, but just little things that like people like need a lot of help. And those are things that inspire them when you reach out, even though you don't want to like share that stuff. Okay. And then number 2 is, how do you attract people like you to the business? And again, that's just basically sharing your brand and what it is that you like. And you're, you know, like they were talking on that call today and it was like this girl like peanut butter, which I mean, really, but like she literally, her Instagram is like, all these people who love peanut butter have like followed her because she literally has this like love for peanut butter, which I think like that's good, but that seems a little like I don't know. That's not the norm, I would say. I do like peanut butter, but I just don't think I like live for it, you know? So what do you live for? Like, what is it that you love? Like, I do love coffee, or I mean, I like wine, but I can take it or leave it. Like, I'm more like, can't really leave coffee for some reason. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's your thing. Okay. And you got to think too, like, where's your target market? Like if it's moms and they're up, like everybody pretty much is on Facebook at like 9:30 when their kids go to bed, or just at 9:30 because their dishes are done and everything's, you know, hopefully done. So they're laying in bed online. So that's the time to post. Like that's the time to really like, you know, post your stuff. And maybe you just want to post about a new product that you're using or whatever. Cause if there's a mom, well, maybe she's looking for a new, whatever trick or technique or something, that product that you found. So you can share all kinds of that stuff to connect with people. And you'll be surprised, I think, at what people, even just like when I posted the stuff with Jersey, it's like, I get people that like, I don't even really know. And they're like, oh my gosh, like they're commenting. And it's super, like, it's nice to see that, because people genuinely, like if they accept your friend request most of the time, and, you know, they like some of your stuff, they genuinely think that you're like a decent person, and they like, you know, that's kind of like giving you a pat on the back. So use those things as like confidence to just continue on your journey, because we all need those little boosts from time to time. Okay. Number 3, be sure you are posting with purpose. So what do you want them to know about? I think we need our posts to like, not always, you can have fun posts. You can just be silly and stupid with your posts. Or you can, you know, post with and evoke emotion. So those are the ones that are hard. Like I said, those are the ones that are personal stories that maybe like a year ago you weren't at the point to share it, but now you are, and you want to share your story because you know it's going to inspire people that are struggling with the same exact thing that you struggled with. You really, again, we always say, be brave, be bold, and be you. And what was the other thing I said? And every single day too. And even if you're having a bad day or just whatever's on your heart, I think it's just so important to just like be you and not, again, overthink it, and just, who cares? Put it up there. And I think a lot of times people think like Beachbody means that you have to, and that's what this girl was saying today. She's like, nobody, when I started Beachbody 6.5 years ago, she's like, nobody had tattoos. And this girl's got like sleeves. And she's like, no one had like they just didn't have tattoos. And like it sort of was this like, okay, you should be in like, dress nice and in heels and be this certain person. And she's like, that's not the case. And the first event she went to, because she's like she's been an elite coach for a long time, for how many ever years, she said, I asked him like, what should I wear? Because I don't even own a pair of slacks. And they're like, who cares? Like, just wear whatever you want. And so she went, and like they were talking about her heels and how they had like spiky like things coming off of them. And she was like, and that was awesome because, you know, like it was just nice. I could be me, and I didn't have to sugarcoat it and be somebody that like, because you're not going to make people happy. Like they're going to see your post, and something you put up might be like, oh, they're, you know, people are just going to like what they're going to like, and you can't control that. And that's the other thing too, is you have to like just worry about what you can control. You can't control what other people are going to do. So you just be you. And then number 4 is post with words just like you were talking to one person. So in your posting, you want to just pretend like you're talking to one person. What do you sound like? You don't want it to be scripted, and you don't want it to sound like something that you're not, because who cares? Like, put it out there. If you cuss, then cuss. Like, I mean, I don't know. I think it's okay. Like, you can still be like a Christian. I mean, I'm not saying I cuss all the time, but sometimes it's like, who cares? Like, if someone doesn't like it, well, whoop-de-doo-dah. Like, I don't know. It's not going to ruin your day if they're griping about. So just do, like, post whatever you would say, and just have fun with it. So just be unique, or you will be just like everyone else. So that's pretty much all I had for the main part. I was going to have you guys write down like the 3, or think about this for a minute. Write down the 3 pieces of your story that you will share this week. And you wouldn't have to share all 3 maybe, but like maybe a piece of your story that you would share this week, and then maybe like a couple other that you might eventually want to share. And if you can just think of one, I think that's fine too. But that just kind of gives you ideas like on what you can, and I think it's good to just share like what it is that you're struggling with like right now, like on your heart right now. And then it's good to have something that maybe from your past, or maybe some history that you've never really felt comfortable about sharing, but you're thinking like, okay, this could really help just get my story out there. And it could, really relate with a lot of people that might be struggling too. So that's just something to think about when you go to maybe to do, some of those posts. And then how do your goals? So I wanted you guys to kind of write down your goals, where you are, like what maybe you want to accomplish for May. I know we're getting close to the end of April, but you still have time to like, change lives this month. But if you guys wanted to just start fresh May and you wanted to like maybe hit some goals, then what do your goals relate to your story? So like, my goals are big. Like, I have big goals. So my story, like, I can share that. And it's hard sometimes. Like, it's hard for me sometimes to tell, and I'm friends with my boss on Facebook. So it's hard for me to be like, I want to quit my job. Like, I wish I could quit my job like today or yesterday. But, so I don't want to like, I got to be a little careful. But at the same time, I think my boss is super supportive. So I don't feel like I need to tiptoe, because we're open with each other. He knows what my goals are, and he's not going to fire me because of it. But I think that it's okay, because that's where I am right now. And like, that's something I can share, because there's a lot of other people that probably feel the same way, that they're tired. It's hard to fit this into my day. It's hard to fit Beachbody into my busy day, but it's really freaking hard to go to work every day. And, know that I'm going to go to work every day, like for the rest of my life. And some people are okay with that, which that's great. Like, if you want to go to work and you think that that is like what you're meant to do, I think that's great, because a lot of people are like, I couldn't stay home. I couldn't be a stay-at-home mom because I would drive myself crazy, because whatever. And I know that there's pros and cons to both, and it is not as maybe, I know there's days that it's hard being a stay-at-home mom, but that's my goal. And so that's what I can share. And I sort of try to put things out there without being negative about where I am now, because it is what it is. I embrace where I am, but I can find ways to share it, with different posts and different aspects of kind of where I'm going. So people, I feel like, my Facebook friends, I feel like know where I'm going with this and what I want to do. So anyways, how do your goals relate to your story, and what can you share, that will kind of let people know like what your goals are? And maybe you're just like doing it because you love fitness and you love this new lifestyle and you want to help people along the way. Maybe it's as simple as that. Maybe you don't have a huge why, and that's okay. Like, you don't have to have something that is just like, and maybe right now you don't know, and that's okay too, because that stuff will come. And just, you'll just figure it out as you go too. So that's pretty much all I had. And I don't know where my recording thing is. Oh Lord. Here it is.